Come with us to a faraway place, where we'll take a peek under the magic carpet, take a secret tour through the Cave of Wonders, and discover all of the skeletons hidden in the Agrabah Palace. That's right, no rubbing lamps or wishes needed. We're here to provide you with all of the things you missed in Disney's live-action reboot of Aladdin. Hidden Mickeys? We got 'em. References to Jurassic Park? You know it. Now, let's dive in and discover everything the movie had to offer. When comparing elements of the original 1992 animation to the live-action remake, there's one thing missing that you cannot help but notice. All of the bare skin! Sure, Will Smith shows off a ton of muscle-built blue skin in all the Genie scenes, but there are a lot of other rules for the other actors. Take Jasmine, for instance. There's no midriffs or belly exposure, and you can forget about seeing her infamous red Jafar seduction outfit in live action. But don't worry, it's not only the females covering up. Aladdin's trademark vest with nothing underneath is nowhere to be found in the movie, although his Prince Ali outfit does extend the neckline pretty low. In today's modern era, it only makes sense not to expose our main characters as eye candy, instead of focusing on their emotional development instead. Disney movies are known for references to other Disney movies, but there's a subtle reference in Aladdin that goes well beyond the large Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, and Muppets umbrella. We're talking about Jurassic Park. Once Aladdin turns to Prince Ali and heads to Agrabah, he brings a whole army of people and animals along with him. As Abu the elephant marches into the city, Jasmine and her royal family can literally feel the arrival. And we get to see it by watching vibration ripples in a collection of cups with colored liquid. The moment is a clear homage to the classic Jurassic Park scene when the T-Rex arrives. We guess seeing the genie transform into a dinosaur for a brief moment would have been a little on the nose, but the vibrations are cool enough anyway. Instead of relying on a street merchant to be our narrator for Aladdin, the film starts off with a man telling a story to his children on a small boat. The ending scenes reveal the man to be Genie himself after he was freed from the lamp thanks to Aladdin's final wish. The boat itself was small, but the design was pretty unique, because it was in the shape of the Genie's lamp. If Will Smith appearing at the start of the film didn't give it away already, then the lamp-shaped boat was a pretty obvious sign that our narrator was obviously the Genie. The nice touch represents the Genie's freedom to travel the world, no longer stuck inside the tiny lamp. Hidden Mickeys are a Disney tradition, and it's no different with their live-action movies either. In Aladdin, the sets are filled with all types of designs and details, making the hidden Mickeys even harder to spot. But we were able to find one in the first viewing. The scene to look for occurs when the Genie goes to distract Jasmine's handmaid Dahlia so Aladdin can get some alone time with the princess. Look directly at the wall behind him when he's standing in the doorway. The stone design features multiple circles with a large center circle and two smaller ones both above and below. The pattern design creates a mural of hidden Mickeys that's easy to miss but really obvious once it's spotted. Just like in the original Aladdin, Abu is quite the character, sticking by Aladdin's side through thick and thin. In the 1992 version, the duo get their hands on a fresh piece of baked bread, but before Aladdin eats it, he sees two children in need and offers up his half. Abu has different ideas at first, taking a bite out of the bread before handing it over. In the live-action remake, the bread is replaced with a bag of fresh dates. So, does Abu do the same generous deed this time around? Nope. The monkey tucks the date under his hat, and we must assume he finishes the delicious treat later on because we don't see it again. Despite being set over 1,000 years ago, 1992's Aladdin featured a genie who could shapeshift into modern-era actors like Jack Nicholson or Rodney Dangerfield. The live-action Aladdin kept this element for the genie, but removed a majority of pop culture references to help keep things feel timeless. When the genie does his transformation trick, it's either just an elaborate version of himself or Aladdin. He transforms into Aladdin's face at least 3 times in the movie, either to mock him or to motivate him. Thankfully, we didn't have to see Will Smith resort to transforming into a Kardashian or some type of meme to try and stay hip and modern. Thanks to a captivating script and a compelling directing style from Guy Ritchie, Aladdin was filled with some top-notch action scenes that elevated multiple set pieces of the movie. One trend you'll find when watching the film is a variety of very deliberate slow-motion scenes. From Aladdin smashing Jafar's cobra staff to the street rat getting pushed into the water, the slow-motion scenes definitely had a flair for the dramatic. The use of slow-motion is actually a signature trademark from Guy Ritchie. Several of his films implement this effect, including the 2 Sherlock Holmes movies starring Robert Downey Jr. He uses the slow motion as much more than a gimmick. We truly feel the impact of the scene and focus on important elements when the action slows down for viewers to take in. Okay, let's face it. Robin Williams' voice performance of the Genie was iconic. No one can step in his shoes. So when we all heard Will Smith was going to take on the role, we naturally got suspicious. Well, it turned out that Smith wasn't trying to imitate Williams, but make the role all his own instead. In interviews leading up to the movie's premiere, Smith stated he based his performance off mid-90s characters he played, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The biggest sign of that came when Aladdin tries to convince Genie to distract Dahlia. Listen for Will's classic "aha" quote, one found in several episodes of The Fresh Prince, along with movies like Bad Boys or Men in Black. Signature Will Smith right there. Along with the original Disney movie, the company followed up with a television series and 2 straight-to-video sequels, The Return of Jafar and Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Well, at the conclusion of The King of Thieves, we finally get to see the wedding between Aladdin and Jasmine. It only took 3 movies and a whole TV show before Aladdin officially became royalty. The 2019 movie decided to rush things along a little bit. In a time-jump kissing shot, we flash forward all the way to the wedding between Aladdin and Jasmine with their signature white outfits. Even Abu wears the same white vest and hat he wore in the animated movie, so it's pretty safe to say that any live-action Aladdin sequels will not follow the ones Disney originally released and most likely follow their own path. Besides a majority of the songs and the story itself, the 2019 Aladdin started off pretty fresh when it came to casting and building the roles. Even Gilbert Gottfried got recast as Iago after playing him through all the movies, television shows, and even video game adaptations. One voice actor did make a big return though, and it was Frank Welker. In the 1992 Aladdin, Welker voiced both Abu and the Cave of Wonders. He reprised those same exact roles for the live-action remake, making the cave feel exactly like it did in the 1992 version. And another fun fact, Welker is a legendary voice actor who has played Fred from Scooby-Doo since the beginning and Scooby-Doo himself for numerous years, along with Odin in a variety of Thor and Marvel cartoon productions. After escaping the Cave of Wonders, Aladdin and the Genie get some guy-to-guy bonding time in the desert. While Abu chills and relaxes, the magic carpet clearly gets bored even though it's finally free after being in the cave for so many years. So what does a carpet do to pass the time? Build sandcastles! But not just any castle, this is a Disney flick after all. Carpet builds the iconic Cinderella castle right there in the sand. After a few cutaways, we see the carpet's impressive building skills, and to add a finishing touch, the rug sprinkles some sand in the air to make it look like fireworks are going off. Just like the classic Disney opening we've seen on countless movies. While we never get a good glimpse inside the Genie's lamp, we're pretty sure he's all cramped up in there, especially after 1,000 years or so. When the Genie's lamp finally gets rubbed and he's released, it's only natural for him to want to stretch out his body parts a little bit. As a part of this stretching routine, we're treated to a fun little Easter egg and reference that is a little more modern than all the other characters realize. When getting into a push-up position and then arching the center of his body high up in the air, the Genie proclaims he's doing down dog, a popular yoga maneuver. The only problem? The down dog position was discovered and spread around the 18th century, years and years after Aladdin takes place. One of the Genie's past masters must have wished to see the future, and Genie picked up some yoga along the way. The Genie has been around for thousands and thousands of years, pretty much getting used to this whole wish thing pretty quickly. So when Aladdin becomes the holder of the lamp, the Genie does a run-through of some typical wishes. When he mentions money, the Genie literally makes it rain money, spreading dollar bills all around Aladdin. The moment is brief, but probably didn't have that much impact on Aladdin. The reason? Money wasn't printed on paper back then, especially in an accepted form. The main source of income would likely come from coins or some sort of bartering system to help better the community. So when Aladdin sees this money flying around, he probably assumes it's just random paper the Genie has sent towards him. Aladdin has been referred to as a hoodwink and a street rat, mostly due to the cons he plays on people and the way he constantly steals. Well, before using any of his 3 wishes, the hoodwink was able to trick the Genie into giving him a free wish. By slipping the Genie's lamp behind his back, Aladdin escaped the Cave of Wonders for free, but Genie didn't believe him. In a quick cutaway gag, the Genie sits in a fake movie theater and watches a replay of Aladdin's action. Watching your movie and turning to the audience is nothing new in films. The scene plays a great homage to classics in the past, including Gremlins 2, The New Batch, and Spaceballs. The movie within a movie gag works great with the Genie's powers and did not distract from our viewing experience at all. Will Smith not only found some 90s influence in the way he acted, but some of his lines are directly from the 90s as well. After the Genie dresses Aladdin in the perfect outfit for his Prince Ali persona, Genie decides to congratulate himself. He resorts to the classic NBA Jam line, "He's on fire," and flies around in a circle to literally create a ring of fire. Not only was the line used in NBA Jam, but "He's on fire" seeped throughout many aspects of pop culture and everyday life. Kids who grew up watching Aladdin would easily recognize this infamous quote. Will Smith didn't need to rely on impressions or various character transformations to make the role of the Genie entertaining. Visual gags and his natural persona did a bulk of the work, but right at the end of the movie, the Genie did sneak one reference in. After defeating Jafar, the Genie has some suggestions for Aladdin's final wish. One of them showcases the Genie transforming into a bulky version of Aladdin with a bow and arrow and some unique outfit choices. Listen closely to his voice, and this is a clear parody of Sylvester Stallone's Rambo. One of the biggest questions that comes up in the first Aladdin movie is how come no one recognizes the street rat when all he did was change clothes? He didn't even toss on a pair of glasses like Clark Kent. Well, the live-action movie clears this tiny plot hole up with just a couple of lines. Basically, it's the magic of the Genie. Will Smith's Genie tells Aladdin that while he looks the same, he is able to change others' perception of him and forget he was ever the poor boy causing trouble on the streets of Agrabah. But even though Aladdin may not be recognizable to anyone, his story about being from the land known as Agrabah does draw plenty of suspicion. Leave it up to a little Genie magic to fix up the map and convince everyone that Agrabah does actually exist. As the cartoon Genie changes up the map, it begins to look like an advertisement for Walt Disney World. Both Fantasyland and Adventureland are added to the map with signature buildings and rides. For those who frequent Walt Disney World, the Adventureland Easter egg has even deeper meaning because that is the part of the amusement park where the Magic Carpets of Aladdin ride is actually located. And right beside it is the daily meet and greet with both Aladdin and Jasmine park characters. Iago may not have as many lines in the 2019 Aladdin as he did in the 1992 film, but the bird was still a pivotal part of the story. The voice of the bird was played by Tudyk, who not only has a knack for voicing characters in various Disney movies, but seems to have a big calling to birds. In Moana, Tudyk voiced Hey the chicken, a bird with far less intelligence than Iago. For his first voice role as a bird, you'd have to go all the way back to 2002's Ice Age, where he played Dab the dodo, a talking bird obsessed with melons. The Aladdin and Jasmine live actors may have taken a while to cast, but it's like Naomi Scott and Menna Masood were born to play the roles. Literally, Menna was born in 1992, the same year as the animated Aladdin was released. And in 1993, around the time the VHS was still soaring off shelves, Naomi Scott was born. These two literally spent their whole lives with Aladdin in it, and everything came full circle as they were perfectly cast in the roles. In the movie, Aladdin doesn't quite catch on to things quickly. Maybe he was just paying too much attention to the background music rather than the song lyrics of Friend Like Me. Either way, the Genie has to resort to some charts and figures to get Aladdin to understand. In a drawn chart, we see Aladdin, the Sultan, and Genie all displayed in a ranking of power. It's not too hard to miss, but all of the character designs in the illustration are based off the original animation. This even includes an overweight Sultan who was thinned out a lot for the live-action version. As the Genie begins telling his children the story of Aladdin on his boat, we transition to the village of Agrabah and all of the various sights and sounds in the land. One of the more striking images we see are some glowing lanterns floating in the sky. These lanterns are almost exactly the same as the animated film Tangled. The lanterns float and fill the night sky during the song I See the Light. So, with these connected lanterns, can you expect a whole bunch of theories connecting Tangled to Aladdin? You bet! One of the more surprising switch-ups in the live-action version of Aladdin was seeing Iago transform into a giant predatory bird instead of Jafar turning into a massive snake. The bird and carpet chase scene was truly thrilling and actually a deep part of the lore Aladdin was based on. Iago was turned into a mythological bird known as the Roc. The Roc would attack others, has taken on legendary figures like Sinbad, and was a perfect fit for the Aladdin movie. It beats getting crackers shoved in your mouth or being forced to generate electricity, right Iago? To help prevent the palace soldiers getting suspicious over a giant blue man flying around, Will Smith's Genie went incognito for a lot of the movie, showcasing human skin and blending in as much as he could. This included wearing a flashy blue and gold outfit. The outfit itself was a design taken directly from the Aladdin Broadway production. There are many similarities, and just like how the play helps the Genie walk around the stage, the outfit was a fitting touch for his human form while traveling around the palace. Plus, it was probably a lot cheaper than creating so much extra CGI. So, want to know what you missed most of all? The original cast! Besides the return of Frank Welker, the movie didn't do anything to sneak in cameos, hidden Easter eggs, or nods to any of the original voice cast. A couple of fun cameos from Scott Weinger, Linda Larkin, and Jonathan Freeman would have been fun to spot and see. The film could have even added an homage to Robin Williams somehow, considering he passed away. They could have had a throwaway character named Robin, shown a Robin bird, anything. But nope, it's all missing, with a complete focus on the new production as Disney forges on through their live-action productions without looking back into the past other than deciding what to remake next. Whew, there were a lot of moments to catch and take in while watching the new Aladdin. How does the film compare to other live-action remakes? Anything else we missed? Did you enjoy the new songs? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Screen Rant for more great content. Thanks for watching.